We're at the Monterey Bay Academy on San Andreas Road, just outside of Watsonville Wednesday. This is a meeting put on by the California Strawberry Commission. It's the Department of Pesticide Regulation and California Strawberry Commission. They're announcing a research partnership to find alternatives to fumigants in strawberry fields. This is an experimental strawberry farm where various techniques are being tested.
The biggest challenge is finding a way to, one, use this approach to grow strawberries and produce a crop, a full crop. The second challenge is the economics of it, making it so growers can actually make a living using this approach.
Fumigants have been a great tool to help us control soil disease. With soil disease in the ground, our plants don't have a chance. But if we can figure out new ways to control that disease or inhibit the disease, it's a real value to us farmers, because we're trying to eliminate costs, and fumigation is one of the high cost inputs.
This system is intended to be in place. The infrastructure costs are pretty high relative to regular field production. I was just talking about substrate. Creating these beds and putting it in the irrigation system is fairly expensive. So the ideal situation for this is this would be in place for 5 to 10 years. And you would just either replace, hopefully every 2 or 3 years, the substrate, the media that you're growing it in, but you would leave the underlying fabric here in the trough in place in the irrigation system. You wouldn't have to replace that. And that's one of our goals, to reduce the cost of the system, is because the actual setup costs are significantly more than a regular grower's field, even without the substrate.
You know, the population's growing in this world, so we have to learn how to grow more food, not less, or not even the same amount. So this type of a fumigant really is just a tool, and it's a tool that a grower, if he can eliminate that expense and that work, he would. And so that's why we're looking at some of these things to innovate and try to be so we can eliminate that out of our business model.
So what we're trying are various mixtures of our substrate treatments with percentages of soil, and so and then trying to disinfest that soil using what we call ASD, or anaerobic soil disinfestation. So that's one of the treatments that we have here. We're also doing that with steam, so we're seeing if we can mix in a percentage of soil with the substrate, but have that soil be steamed prior to mixing it together.
Very expensive. There's a machine that costs over $500,000 that did 1 acre of steam cleaning, so to speak, but it took 21 hours to do 1 acre. You know, that's not really reasonable right now and realistic. There's 39,000 acres of strawberries, and there's hundreds of thousands of acres of other commodities in the state that need clean soil. I think what you're going to see is some of the early adoption of some of these techniques are going to be in organic production. Some of the areas where the organic farmer is on a piece of land that's deemed organic and he really doesn't have the chance to really move his production, he's got to stay there. He's got a chance to hopefully clean up some soil if he's having some disease problems in a corner or something, and utilizing some of these techniques that might give him the edge to be able to maintain and keep farming on that piece of land. We're conscious, of course, of our community. We're conscious of our cost inputs. They continually increase, but we do have to give our plants a fighting chance to survive, and they create their little babies, you know, those strawberries, and if they're not in clean soil or soil that's a little cleaner, they struggle. It's hard to reproduce.